Joining us now, he's going to be performing at the Montgomery College Perilla Performing Arts Center on September 7th at 8 p.m. The one, the only, Donovan Leach. I'm very anxious to talk to you. I have so many questions because you are from an era of music that I really love. You know, you were sort of hitting your stride in the music business during what I consider to be the sweet spot for rock, folk, and all of that. 65 to about 68 or 69. That was when some of the really great music was produced that we all still love today, the classic stuff. So what was it like to be in that scene at that time?
Oh, what is it like to be me? When I was 16, I was listening and picking up lots of stuff, wanted to do it, and then finally did. You know what they say about me sometimes. After you'd rocked and rolled with the Rolling Stones, and after you'd grooved and moved with the Beatles, late at night you'd put on a Donovan album. And if you were with your girlfriend or a girl with a boyfriend, they would take two of my tracks, and you'd be in each other's arms. In a way, I'm the romantic in many ways, but also my feeling about the whole thing is I just love music like you do. DJs were our best friends.
You say that you make that reference to, you know, at the end of listening to rock and roll, you wanted something that was just a little more downbeat, which you could relax with that special someone. And that brings me to the title of your, what I guess was your biggest hit, Mello Yello. What is that song really about?
Well, I don't know. You know, when I say the romantic, I rocked and rolled, and I still do, too. I mean, I absorbed so many different styles, but jazz was one of the big ones. You understand, the Irish, the Scottish migrations into America brought the folk music and created what we know as country music with a strong mix of, you know, Africa and Latin America. Oh, gosh, the popular music comes from a lot of roots. But jazz, when it actually was created, the truly unique American invention of the thing called jazz and blues. Jazz influenced me, too. When I was in New Orleans in 1966, early, I went to Preservation Hall, and I heard the old boys playing the early jazz. And when I came back to Europe, I wrote Mello Yello.
All right. Now, you know, the reference, I've read it. You tell me whether I'm right or wrong, to the electrical banana.
Ah, well, you know, imagine the scene. Around about 66 or even late 65, before fame took all of us guys in Britain by the lapel and tore us into the future, the Beatles and I actually used to go to each other's houses, and I was sitting with John Lennon reading the newspapers. And, you know, in the back of the newspapers, there are always these ads, and he was looking at the front of the newspaper. I read the news today, oh boy. And so we were always looking at things that were happening in the world, and in the back pages, electric bananas were appearing. I'm talking about marital aids, of course. And I thought that was so hilarious, so did John. I put it in the song. Electrical banana, yeah.
Marital
aids. But, you know, mellow, being mellow and being yellow, yellow seemed to be everywhere in those days.
Okay, you mentioned John Lennon. You were contemporaries of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. You know, what was it like to be hanging around with those guys during that particular time when their fame was skyrocketing?
Well, we were all skyrocketing.
Right.
In those days, we didn't make albums, you know. We made singles. And so everybody was kind of young and happening, and we'd run into each other at the obvious places. You know, there was only 3 discotheques, and maybe there was 2 or 3 record companies, so we'd all run into each other at one point. Yeah, it was early days, you know, and when young fans ask me, what was it like in the 1960s, I say, it was great. Too bad you missed it. But it wasn't really that. Basically, what happened was it was very new stuff that was happening, you know. People were waltzing at that time, you know, and doing two-steps.
Right.
And then came along the Brit invasion. So it was quite exciting, I must say.
All right, so now you're going to be in town performing at the Montgomery College Perilla Performing Arts Center on September 7th at 8 p.m. What kind of things will people see when they come to see you?
Well, it's a very rare appearance. I seem to have gotten very lazy over the years. But when I heard the town was called Rockville, and then I love my D.C., I have lots of friends in D.C., and when I heard that they have a series of very beautiful artists on at the Montgomery College, I couldn't resist the invitation, and Deborah, she invited me. And so I'll be bringing my young American band, and we'll be doing all the hits and cult classics, and a good, solid acoustic section with me and the audience going through what I know some of my audience love, me and the acoustic guitar. So all the hits, cult, everything, and a new one from my new album, which is just appearing, called Shadows of Blue.
Donovan Leach in Rockville, the Montgomery College Perilla Performing Arts Center, September 7th, 8 p.m. Tickets are available how?
And you can get them, you look for it on my website, donovan.ie, but also you can get them in Rockville. But I'll be selling exclusive, my new album on CD. It's only available digital on my website, donovan.ie, but you can actually get the physical thing. First thing in America is the Rockville concert, Montgomery College. My new album is there. I'll be signing after the show.
Well, Donovan Leach, thank you so much for joining us. Great pleasure.